I have not done a video in now, I think 2 months. No, 3 months, maybe less. I don't even remember when the last one came out, to be honest with you. Anyways, it has been a long time regardless. You know, it's hard to juggle everything I've been juggling in life with YouTube at the same time. You know, YouTube is something that I've always put as a back burner if you're new to my channel, because I did see I gained a decent amount of subscribers. I was surprised. Even though I have been inactive, I've still gained a significant amount of people. I gained at least a couple hundred in the last few months, and I was amazed by that because I mean, really, I haven't uploaded anything. I've been uploading just bare essential stuff. I mean, I haven't finished my part 2 of my 50 facts about me thing I did, and I mean, you know, I do promise that's coming out. Actually, that's going to come out this week. I'm going to do another video for it. It will come out this week. That much I can promise you. After that, who knows when the next video will come out. And it's a shame because it's hard to describe to you guys how part of me loves doing YouTube. It's something that I really enjoyed doing for a long time, but at the same token, I also enjoy this in my free time, and I also enjoy the ability to do what matters more to me than just YouTube. YouTube is something that I take a lot of interest in. Don't get me wrong, I still watch tons of videos. I still, you know, I watch a lot of my friends' videos. I still watch all my favorite anime reactors and all that. But I don't have the same amount of time I used to have to invest myself into it. You know, I was growing slightly, and it was nice to see myself go from some guy who used a camera on the screen to film things. It was terrible the way I used to set things up, but I had no editing skills. I had nothing. And even now I still have no editing skills, but the difference is that I had rose above a lot of that, and, you know, got my own microphone. Obviously, by the way, this thing's dusty as hell. Like, maybe the camera can't capture it. I need to clean this later. I will do that way later, but that's what happens when you don't use it for so long. It got caked in dust. I was surprised with it. I cleaned a little bit off because obviously I couldn't leave it like that, but it's crazy. It's you know, I've always grown a little bit as a channel, and then when I finally got to this apex of where I really wanted to be as a channel, because I really enjoyed everything I was doing and I found my stride with it, real world set in, you know. And a lot of people tell you, oh, you know, YouTube is a career for some people and a hobby for others. I've always fallen in the ladder of it being a hobby. I can't really afford the time and effort to put into YouTube as much as I know I have people on Twitter still asking me, hey, when's your next video coming out? Do you plan on doing another one? Some of my new subscribers who watched a lot of my older videos, by the way, thank you for subscribing to my channel still. It's not 100% inactive because I still do stuff for it, but it's just not as often. But yeah, you know, I feel bad telling them, listen, these videos aren't easy to do anymore. It's even right now, it's like 7 o'clock at night for me right now. I'm tired. I still have to do other work for my second job, and then tomorrow I have to work, obviously, at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I start, so I wake up at 2 something to get to work and get dressed and all that stuff. It's rough. It's rough, but, you know, it works for how I do things with what my schedule is, but at the same token, it leaves me with very little time to do things like this. Like, if, for example, let's say if I get rid of my other hobbies, like I still read a lot, I still write a lot for myself, I still play video games a lot. If I got rid of any of those hobbies, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but then I would have no time to do them at all, and I would feel like part of me was gone, you know. Like, I still love to play games, I still love to watch anime and stuff. But in terms of what I'm going to do for the channel, because, you know, I'm not, like I said before, I still adhere to this 100%. I'm not getting rid of this channel. I don't want to end my YouTube channel. BladeNinja is something that's synonymous with me online, and I don't plan on getting rid of it. By the way, if I sound a little, you know, nasally, it's because the winter. And I'm surprised I haven't gotten sick yet. I've avoided everyone at my job being sick. Every single person. I mean, like, kid you not. No matter where I go, I can turn my head left or right. Someone's sick where I work. But besides that, you know, I digress a little bit. You know, I don't want this to ever disappear because it's something I always want to fall back to. Even if they don't do well, it's like, you know, okay, so a video I do gets like 50 views or 100 views or 200, whatever. That's fine with me. I've never really made money off YouTube. I mean, there was a point I was getting a little bit extra every month from it, but it wasn't a lot. It was always a very minute amount. And even now, it's still a minute. I mean, I made a decent amount off of my older reviews, which is funny because those are still trending, if that makes sense. It's like, I still have people watch my Achikochi review. I had someone comment on that review recently. I did that ages ago. I had someone comment on some of my older videos, like, I mean, back from when I first started YouTube, and I was mystified by that. And not always the nicest comments for the older ones, because it was an older setup. Obviously, like I had someone comment on one of my corpse party videos, and that was when I was at the really beginning of filming. I had the tripod set up, and not really a tripod. It was like my own makeshift tripod that I had it filmed at the camera, so this way it would be at the screen, and then you can hear my voice obviously from a microphone, but that was it. It was terrible. I don't miss those days. Anyways, though, what I want to talk about today's video is more of how this whole channel is going to go. It's not an update video, by the way. It's going to be an actual video. Like, I don't want you guys to think, oh, another update video. No, I'm not doing that. It's going to just go in with the video. So, reviews, as much as I would love to do them, it's hard for me to do reviews. There are plenty of shows I still watch per season. Like, I still watched a lot of stuff from last season, but at the same time, if you ask me if I saw Beastars, I did not watch Beastars, unfortunately. I know it's good. I've seen a little bit of it, and I'm very interested in watching it. I will watch it eventually. I think it was another one that was getting a lot of praise. Vinland Saga, I'm still catching up on. I'm almost done with it. I love Vinland Saga. That was one show I was definitely gonna watch as best I could. Some of the major shows I still was able to watch. I watched all of Sword Art from last season. I watched all of I'm forgetting all the shows I saw. I saw some of Fire Force. I didn't watch a lot of Fire Force. I really wasn't too enthralled with it. I liked it for what it was, but as someone who read the manga and liked the manga a lot, I kind of maybe was disappointed by the anime a little bit. And I mean, I wasn't a huge diehard fan of the manga either, but at the same token, I don't know, just something didn't click with me with both of those. And what else? I watched a decent amount of shows. Oresuki I watched. I loved Oresuki. That was probably one of my favorite harem series I've seen in a long time, because honestly, I loved everything about that show. It was so enjoyable. But yeah, this kind of goes into what I'm talking about this video, because review-wise, I would love to do reviews. I can't as much as it plagues me, because I'm like, I want to talk about Oresuki. I want to talk about Sword Art. Alicization Rising, I think it was incredible. Alicization Rising, War of the Underworld, because that's the whole title of it, which is a bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. I want to talk about like Boku no Hero, how I think this season is very good in some aspects and also kind of weaker in some aspects too as well. But the whole thing of it is that I want to talk about subject matter now. Like I'm gonna switch my channel a little bit, where I'm still gonna do reviews once in a blue moon. Like if I really love a show, like I have to 10 out of 10. I have to just be mystified by the show, and I'll do a review for it. Maybe like an anime movie once in a while I'll do, but that's not gonna be my channel's focus, I think, for a little bit now. It's just gonna be me talking a lot more when it comes to like different subjects when it comes to anime. And this way, I think what can happen, which is better for you guys, is that I can still make videos occasionally, like maybe once every couple months, or like 2 or 3 every few months, versus me doing nothing like I've been doing, which is, it's harder for me to do a review because I have to think about how I want to say things. I have to then, keep doing multiple takes, because I don't use a script. I never believed in scripts. I think scripts are good for some people, and other people, they can't get the whole thing from it. Like, it feels too formulaic. It feels like it has no flow to it, because it feels like I'm just reading off of a review. And I do reviews, obviously, so it's pointless to me to do a script for one and then just go, this is what I loved about this show. It was so good. This, it makes you sound smart. It makes you sound like you're hitting every note, which is great, because you do, and it gives you more of a flow when it comes to a show. But at the same token, it doesn't feel like a natural flow. It feels like a artificial flow. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do from now on is I just want to have discussions. I want to have these discussion videos. It's not gonna be a series. It's not gonna be any of that. I'm kind of done with that game when it comes to like, oh, this is a BladeNinja Talks or anime talk, etc. I'm not gonna do all that stuff. As much as I loved doing that, it was fun. I've grown past that. It's like, it's a ladder thing for me now to name these videos. So I'll always have titles with them, obviously, because you have to. YouTube's all about that. And in its algorithm, you have to have a good title. But I won't have it like where it's like parentheses. This is this type of series or anything. I'm not gonna do that. Gone is those days. What I want to talk about today is the concept of watching 2019 anime in 2020, and this is not just this year. I mean, like, this is gonna be something ongoing for me, because for a while, if you guys don't remember this, and by the way, these videos won't ever be more than like 20 to 30 minutes, because I don't want to do super long videos, but they'll be decently long. So this way you guys can enjoy them in parts, so you can just throw them, whatever. Or you can listen to them, because you really don't need to see my face. Unless you want to see my face, which, by the way, thank you very much if you do want to see my face. I appreciate it. But the thing is that, you know, when it comes to anime, going back to what I was talking about, anime has always been something that I've watched at my own leisure. You know, I've watched a lot of anime, as you guys know. I've seen a significant amount of shows. Easily, probably, I think I'm reaching 1,000 something. You know, Mal has it, I think, as 967 or something like that. But a lot of those shows I still haven't recorded of stuff like recently. I've recorded stuff in the past, way past. I mean, like from the 60s and you know, 70s and 80s. I'm not that old, obviously, but I've seen a lot of the old classics. And, you know, it's something that I'm always proud of because it means I've been an anime fan for a long time. You know, a lot of people that are big channels nowadays, you ask them when they started anime, most of them, they always have the same thing. I know it's like always like, oh, I started in high school. For them, high school would be like 10 years ago or like 5 years ago or something like that. For me, I started back when I was a kid, you know, and that's something that maybe some of you guys don't know, especially newer to the channel. I was watching anime when I was like 5 years old. I was watching stuff that was not just, you know, all Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, which, by the way, a great series, but I was watching stuff that was like Guyver, Orphan, which, by the way, yeah, remake of Orphan, I'm so happy about that. I'll talk about that maybe probably in another video. But I was watching all the classics and all these great shows that, you know, I just watched them at my time because obviously they didn't come out at the same time for America. You know, America back then wasn't like, oh, we have Crunchyroll or you have was it a Verve or any of these things. None of that existed. Amazon Video, you know, or what was it? I forgot what the name for anime, the anime on Amazon was, but none of that existed. It was, you know, anime when you could watch it on DVDs or you find DVDs or VHS tapes, if you guys remember what VHS tapes were. There was also, I'm trying to think, I'm blanking on one of the names of, anime on demand, which was one of those things too that existed for a lot of the cable channels. You could watch anime on demand and watch whatever you wanted to watch. You know, it was like set amount of shows would come out every week, and then they would stay in circulation for maybe like a month at most, and then they would switch more shows, and that's how you got, you know, those are all ways I watched anime back then. So anime wasn't seasonal. You know, there wasn't like, at least in America. I mean, in Japan, obviously, because that was on television, there was seasonal anime. It's like, you know, this season would come out, there would be like 20 shows out. For Americans, or, you know, anyone in the West, or even basically other countries that weren't Japan, anime was something you watched when it came out, when you had the access to it, when you had the ability to go and check it out on YouTube, or if you had a Crunchyroll account later on in life, when that stuff started coming out, you had the ability to then do that. Even Netflix now is one of the bigger players in watching anime. All that stuff exists now, and it was crazy because it didn't exist back then. But what makes it interesting to me is that people now feel the need, especially, I mean, if you I'll put it this way: if you watch anime and do reviews for it, or if you do, you know, reaction videos and all that, you have to obviously watch seasonal stuff. You have to be in the need for watching when it comes out, because as any reviewer or reactioner will tell you, if you don't do it at an apt time, so it's like, oh, you know, I missed 2 days of a show, it's okay, it's not a big deal. But if you miss like a week of a show and you're always like a week behind, you're not going to get the same traction in your views, you're not going to get the same traction in your audience because they're not on that episode. It's like, why am I going to watch a review or a reaction for episode number 10 when episode 11 or 12 is out already? There's no point to it, you know? I mean, there are some people that still will, but it won't be as big. But the thing is that for me, I've always been hell-bent on watching anime when I want to. You know, and when I started YouTube, I had to change that gear. My whole gears in life had to change because I started watching seasonal things. I started talking about seasonal things. Don't get me wrong, I kind of enjoyed it because I could talk with people on stuff that's current. You know, I could talk to people about like, oh, you know, did you see One Punch Man Season 2 or did you see Mob Psycho Season 2? I could talk to people on a more personal level because I can go into something that came out within that time period. Back in the day, you know, when anime was still in its, you know, infancy in terms of, in the West at least, you didn't get that luxury. You didn't get to really talk with people and go, oh, you know, did you see the recent episode about this, or did you see this show coming out, or did you see the coming attractions for another show? That didn't exist. You know, that wasn't something that was relevant. And, you know, if it did, then someone was in the future and now in the past. That'd be weird. But, you know, the whole point is that I'm watching a lot of the shows of 2020 or 2019 and 2020, meaning that I'm now watching. I'm gonna go check out Beastars. I'm now gonna finish Fire Force. I'm gonna check out dozens and dozens of shows that seem like I missed out. I'm still watching Vinland Saga when that ended in 2019, technically, I think. Or it might have ended in 2020, but you know, you get the point. I want to kind of go back to that. I kind of like miss that leisure of being able to watch the show when I wanted to watch a show versus having to talk about like, oh, if I don't talk about this now and get this video out in 2 hours or an hour, 20,000 people will beat me. I hate that. I used to hate that about doing YouTube. It's like it became so formulaic in my own concept and kind of went against who I was because I've never been a person who wanted to watch seasonal anime. I watched anime in my own time. I watched it when I wanted to watch it. It's like I would binge the crap out of like 20 shows from the 1990s or early 2000s versus every week I was watching episode 1 of this, episode 1 of this, episode 1 of this, episode 1 of this. It overloads you. I think in many ways you see why you see reactors get bored or tired for a while and then kind of have to stop and then come back to it. Is because in their mind it's like, yeah, you can watch 20 different shows, but are you really enjoying that? You know, that's kind of my question for you guys is like, do you enjoy binging 30 different shows and watching it at the same? I mean, if you do, listen, that's all fine and dandy, but wouldn't you rather watch like, you know, a full series over the course of your own time versus having to watch it every week and have to watch 20 other shows with it? It's always been a kind of troubling thing because I don't think you can enjoy shows that way. You know, like, put it this way. One thing I hate and love about Netflix is how Netflix has a complete series. Like, for example, The Witcher. I just saw that recently. The Witcher was okay. I don't think The Witcher deserves the high accolades it got. I think it's a lot of people also agree with that, which is funny because even though it's like one of the biggest Netflix shows over Stranger Things, you know. And by the way, I've actually caught up with Stranger Things. Stranger Things is amazing. To me, if I had to choose between Stranger Things and The Witcher, I would choose Stranger Things. And I'm a huge Witcher fan, but I still think Stranger Things was better, me personally. But when it came to The Witcher, you know, you have all 8 episodes in one shot. And with like Kengan Ashura, which is a good show, by the way. I loved season 1. I'm still watching season 2 currently. That all came out one shot. You know, it's like, oh, here's all 12 episodes, and next week, or next month or whatever, the 12 episodes. That is awesome and also bad at the same time because you get to watch all of them at the same time. You get to watch them at your own thing, but it kind of removes that whole episodic thing of where you can watch everything once a week, or you can sometimes burn yourself out of a show because you're like, I'm watching 100 episodes of a show that came out in one shot, and I'm finding myself kind of getting tired of it or bored of it. You know, that's the beauty of watching stuff at your own time is like you don't have to really care about that. You don't have to binge it if you don't want to, but the same token, reviewers have to. You know, if you're a reviewer for a show, you need to watch all 12 episodes or 13 or whatever. And even if they're hour-long episodes, you need to watch them because if you don't watch them in a timely manner, guess what? Your review's not going to be a timely manner. And I completely understand it because I still have, for my other job, Honey's Anime, obviously, as you guys know, I still do that. I still have to watch some shows in a timely manner because if I don't, guess what? I can't do a review for it at the end of the month, or I have to then fly through the show, and I hate doing that too because then I'm like on a strict schedule, my own thing I put into myself, where it's like, oh no, I'm reviewing 5 different shows, now I have to watch all of them. So I still watch anime as it comes out, but I don't watch it on the I want to say the mass that some people are doing it because I noticed a lot of reactors recently have been watching anime, like, you know, in spades. Like, they've been watching 20 shows. They do reactions for every episode, and then occasionally, yeah, they'll drop a show. They'll be like, okay, I'm not doing it, which is perfectly fine, Danny. I mean, there's some shows you're going to drop, obviously, but they do that, and it's like you still watch like 15 or 10 shows or whatever. Are you enjoying that? Like, is that fun to watch? You know, a season, watch all these shows instead of just watching, you know, a show when you want to on your own time. Like, you know, it's like, okay, I'll wait for maybe a few episodes and I'll check it out and then watch it and enjoy it, and then wait for weekly episodes. Or I don't want to watch 10 different shows on the same day, so I'll spread it out. Like, I'll watch this show next week, I'll watch this show next week, this show next week, or I'll watch this tomorrow or whatever. To me, I've always enjoyed that. I've always watched seasonal anime when I did it for myself. I always watched seasonal anime more from my own time. I watched it when I wanted to, when I could, versus having to do it on a schedule for YouTube. When I started doing YouTube like 3 or 4 years ago now, almost, I think it's almost hitting 4 years ago, amazingly. I had to switch to that. I had to change my gears, and like I said before, you know, I have to watch more stuff per season because that was how I got, you know, views, I got reactions, and I kind of wanted that to a certain degree. I mean, I didn't want the views that like people cared about. Like, I didn't need millions of views per video. I didn't really give a shit about that. I cared more about the content, and I cared more about people going, oh, you know, let's talk about this, or, you know, I like this or whatever. But still, to stay relevant, I needed to watch 10 shows a day and then do reviews for like up to like 7 or 8 of them. was tiring. You know, it gets really, really tiring. So my biggest thing was, you know, now that I'm not doing YouTube full time anymore, and I'm focused on other things. I have obviously 2 jobs technically, and I have my own life outside of those 2 jobs, which is very little, but you know, I still have a life. The thing is that now I am hell bent on watching shows when I want to watch shows, when I really find the time that I feel is necessary. I can watch, you know, like Boku no Hero, speaking of which, I mentioned way before in the beginning of the video. The recent season, I have not watched a lot of it because I'm reading the manga, so I'm considerably ahead of you guys when it comes to like what's happening in the story, and it's awesome. I mean, I'll tell you this right now: if you are planning to start the manga, or if you've already gotten to where I'm at in the manga, you know it's getting pretty epic. What's happening? You know, various characters are starting to change. Villains are getting more powerful, and even some of the heroes are getting weaker when it comes to some things. But some also, a lot of the heroes have been getting stronger because of various you know, story related things that I won't spoil, obviously. But when I saw the season 4, I was so happy because I know what arc that was in. I was like, oh, you know, Overload. I was so happy when he came in because I wanted to see what he can do, because I know Overload in the manga was scary, to say the least. And then I saw it and I was like, I'm a little disappointed. You know, maybe the animation style was a little weaker. Maybe it was just me. Maybe because I already knew what was going to happen. This could be any one of those things, but it disappointed me a little bit, and that's why I'm watching it at my own speed, because I feel like watching it weekly might turn me off, actually. So I watched a few episodes today. Actually, I watched on my way to work. You know, when I was on my the train to go into my job, I watched, I think, one episode, or not really the whole thing, obviously, because it doesn't take that long. But I watched like half the episode. Then when I got to work and punched in everything, I watched the rest of it. But you know, during my breaks, my lunch breaks, I'd watch a little more and stuff like that. So I watched like 2 episodes cool today. And that's cool. You know, I was really enjoying it because I think it was more so I could watch it on my own time, and I was enjoying it because, you know, okay, I don't feel like I need to get through this that quickly, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I still don't think it's that great. Like, I don't think this is, compared to other seasons, maybe because now I'm ahead, I don't know what it is. I really don't. And I've talked to a few people who are diehard fans of Boku no Hero Academia, and have said the same thing, which is weird. So I'll leave you with that, also that question too, in the comments, so you can let me know. What do you think of the season of Boku no Hero? Because I'm very curious about that. But anyways, the whole point of it, and the whole point of this video, is that I want to return to a style that I used to have, where it's like I watch videos on my own time, and I really actually watched anime on my own time. I like that style. I think that's more enjoyable. And you know, my question to you is if you guys enjoy that too, because I'm curious to the people that do love to I want to say splurge. It's not even really binge. When you watch like 20 different shows in one shot, I think it's like splurging on a show, or on this, you know, specific genre. You know, to me, I love anime, but I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to watch 10 episodes on Saturday every Saturday. I want to watch like 1 or 2, maybe. That's fine. But even that, like, I'm waiting now for more shows to just finish and be done, and then go to watch them. Let me know in the comments what you guys prefer. I would love to know from you guys. And as always, guys, I appreciate you even being here still. Subscribe to my channel. You know, if you want to check out my Patreon, you can go do that. I don't really have as many Patreons as I used to. I don't care about that too much. It's really just more extra incentive to do YouTube still. So definitely, if you want to check that out, I have various rewards that I don't really even feed into anymore. But if I do get them, I will feed them back into them, obviously. And if you like this style, please let me know in the comments below too. So it's like 3 different things I'm asking. You can answer 1 or 2. I don't give a shit. You can answer all of them if you want, but that's up to you. I will have the part 2 to the 50 facts about me. So that's 26 to 50 in the actually, yeah, because I stopped at 25 last episode. So 26 to 50 this week or beginning of next week. It's probably gonna be this week because I promised you guys originally. Yeah, I'll make it this week. Don't worry. But I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night, everyone. God bless you all. Bye bye.